drink is so sweet. Let your body arrest me today. Cha-cha. You'll be taking out my emotion. My heart is deep like the ocean. Always. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me. With the one who loves me. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me. With the one who loves me. I've been alone on my bed for too long, drinking my sorrows away for too long. And I've been stuck over you for too long. Now it's time. Love can be a roller coaster. It can feel like life is over. But today I'm stopping. Now you've been playing jungle. No more jungle over with my heart, 'cause I'm never going back into that drama that you bring. Never going back into that drama that you bring into my soul. Baby girl had to get out. Baby girl had to run. Oh, baby girl got.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh.
Good morning, and welcome. I think we'll just go ahead and start. It's 5 minutes past, and we don't want to keep those that are here waiting. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Good morning. If you were here on day 1, day 2, 3, please let us know in the chat box. We want today to be as interactive as possible. If you feel comfortable, please feel free to turn on your camera so that we can, celebrate today. That is the last day. Please let me know if you were in the chat box, if you were here for the body session, the mind session, the soul session, or if you were just here today for the first time, please let us know in the chats. And if you've also been enjoying the music that we've been playing as well, let us know in the chat as well, because we have an amazing surprise as well at the end of today's session. Desmond, have you found the session so far? I know you've been here for the last 4 days. Well, you have to be, you're the co-host, so have you found the sessions? Mark Ilega, first timer, fantastic. Good to have you here, Mark. I'm sure you would find today just as enriching. We're going to be sending out all the slides and the materials, so fear not. You will get all the good things that we've had the opportunity to share. Akan Nelson, welcome. Great to be here. Thank you, Akan. We're so happy to have you. We can't wait to hear you speak to us today on Business Acumen. We're very excited about all that you've been doing at Evolve Credit. So we're hanging by our cheers for that session. Vanessa, she's been here all 3 days. Yay! Thank you, Vanessa. I hope you've learned so much. It's really been amazing, like everything from body, losing weight, gaining weight, to your mind, self-care, yoga. We've had everything. Yesterday was amazing. We had Pastor Fikun come and speak to us about the soul, which was also super packed session. Philip Idoko, yes, definitely. I remember Philip asked 1 or 2 questions as we've been on here, all days marked. Thank you, Philip. Desmond, well, I'm not reading Desmond's chat. somebody else. Thank you all so much. Today is the last day. We just want to thank everyone that has taken the time to show up here at 11 a.m. every day. It really means so much to us. Just being able to put this together and pass on relevant information that impacts people, that, allows conversations to flow. We're very grateful for you taking the time out of your busy schedules to, spend 4 days straight with us. I can see Amobi, thank you so much. I can see Reverend Chineye, thank you so much for turning on your camera and joining us on here. Thank you so much, really excited. Thank you. Feel comfortable, please turn on your camera so that we feel like, we're in a room together. So before we start today, today is the last day. And I just wanted to touch base again. You may be wondering, what is Reimagine? You've been here day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, even you're just logging in for the first time today and you want to know more. Who are we? What do we do? Reimagine is a platform that was developed in order to boost our momentum towards achieving our goals, not just for the new year, but our goals in general, and to fuel consistency. We've heard so much about discipline, consistency. We've heard so much about prosperity. We've heard so much about how the body, the mind, the soul all works together. And it's like a layering for what we're going to be hearing today, which is business acumen. In order to achieve all these goals that you've set in your business, your career, there are several components of yourself that you need to be taking care of. So the aim of this program is to provide our audience with practical steps on how to implement and execute their objectives. And we've done our best to bring, knowledgeable speakers. If you were here, like I said, the one we had Toby AKD, a fitness trainer. We also had Bimbo, a yoga and mental health mental coach. On day 2, we had Tayo Kemi, a psychologist. We also had Paulette, a public health expert. And today as well, we have Akan Nelson, founder and CEO of Evolve Credit, that's going to be speaking to us directly on what it is to get the business side of things done right. So this program will comprise of body, mind, soul, business acumen, as I said. So today, we're going to be looking at the importance of creating a business plan, a strategic plan, relevance of being updated with, business trends, what's even going on in the market. If you're trying to start a food business, you're trying to start, selling clothes or doing makeup, what's the trend? Even those that are doing personal services, you need to know what's happening, the new foundation that is on the market that your clients may be interested in. If you're trying to sell cars, what is happening. And we live in a very peculiar country, Nigeria. The regulatory framework is always changing. The worst thing for a business person, and you can't even speak to cogent issues that are affecting your own business. We're going to be hearing from a seasoned professional today, which I'm very excited. I don't know if any of you know on the call, I'm a lawyer. We're doing due diligence on a company, and it's just not in order. And investors are already, concerned. If you can't get your corporate governance right, why should I be investing money in your business? So we're going to be answering a lot of questions today. So if you have them, even before you hear the speaker speak, anything that is bothering you about your business, please put them in the chat box and let us know. So without taking any much more of your time, as usual, we're going to go into our game teaser session. Just have a few games to get our minds going, get us engaged, get us excited. I can see more cameras on. I can see Tunde. Thank you, Tunde, for turning on your visual. I'll just share my screen here. Share. Okay, can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up and see my screen. Awesome, thank you. So if you've been for day 1, day 2, day 3, we do this just to get ourselves excited, do some mind games, see where we're at. And it's always an interesting conversation. Never know, there's always a message hidden in something. So fun with logos. So I'm going to be showing, in a moment, I'm going to be showing you different logos of different businesses. And just let me know when you look at a logo, just let me know what you think in the chat session. For example, if you see a Coca-Cola logo, what are you even thinking? What does that logo mean to you? How are you connecting? Can you see the hidden message? Brands are very intentional, right? Visual, media, we see a lot every day. And most times, again, people listening about something you want to buy and you Google it and next thing you're seeing the ads everywhere. So if you see a logo, let me know in the chat what you're thinking about that logo. So just for 5 minutes, I want it to be as engaging as possible. So here we go. On our screen here, excuse me, I have the Amazon logo, I have the LG logo, I have the BIZ logo, I have the Cisco logo. So just let me know in the chat, what does this Amazon logo tell you? Is there something that, apart from Amazon being what we know Amazon to be, what is the message in this logo? You look at the LG logo as well, electronics, what is the message in this logo? You look at the BIZ by Dre logo, what can you see? What is this logo telling you? Can you see anything, or is it just a logo, right? So let me know in the chat. Akan says Amazon A to Z delivery. Wow, I wouldn't have even put that together. Amazing. A to Z logo. Vanessa says Amazon logo has an arrow from A to Z. It shows you they could deliver anything from A to Z, they deliver anywhere as well. Yes, like honestly, this is the first time I'm looking at this logo like this. And that's what we're here to do today, Amazon A to Z. How about the LG logo? Does this mean anything, or is this just a circle in a red dot? Or the BIZ by Dre logo? Chioma says A to Z and the arrow looks like a smile, implies ease. Wow, yes. I mean, I think we have branding people on this call. That's awesome. The arrow actually does look like a smile. Okay. Tunde, what do you think about the LG logo? Does it mean anything? I'm sure we all have LG appliances in our homes. Is this just a red circle? Because to be honest, I'm not sure I see anything. How about the BIZ by Dre logo? It's an interesting one as well. We all know BIZ by Dre, the headsets and things. What do you think about this logo? Let me know in the chat. Cisco as well, another interesting one. Do you know Cisco as a company? I think they provide internet services. I'm not sure. BIZ, Philip says BIZ looks more like a person's headset. Yeah, you're onto something there. Oops. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm back on. Okay. Any more responses? Any more thoughts? I think the Cisco logo looks like, like the internet router, when you have the dot signs showing that you have network. LG has a face which could imply is customer-centric. Interesting, Vanessa. That's actually deep. Interesting. A face, which means implies it's customer-centric. That's an interesting angle. Okay, let's look at the answers. Okay, I can see more responses coming in, so I'll give 2 more minutes. Red color in LG is for life. Wow. Red color in LG is for life. And I think it matches with what Vanessa is saying as well. Customers, engagement, human interface, maybe. Okay, I'll quickly go to the answers. So let's see what we have here. BIZ, the logo is pretty simple. The B is inclusive. The circle isn't just a circle, it actually represents a human head. And the B letter represents the brand's headphone. So I think someone said that in the chat as well. The circle is actually a head with the BIZ on it. The Cisco is the world leader in networking for the internet. And the blue stripes represent an electromagnet, but also the Golden Gate Bridge. Wow, interesting. I actually can see that now You know, the Golden Gate Bridge is like this, just like the logo. Wow. Amazon is a powerhouse when it comes in the work and you got the results. And let's have a moment to reflect on our personal successes and learn about the achievements of other people in this business acumen session. So leave your comments in the chat box. Achievements, moments where you, so someone says no sound. Stephanie says no sound. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Stephanie, maybe I would suggest maybe dial out and dial back in and then see if it works for you. But please let me know in the chat box, anyone, moments where you exceeded your expectations. Actually, I can start. Let me think about it for a second. It's a tough one. Moments where I exceeded my expectations. Maybe starting something new or learning something new. So for example, I'm trying to put more energy into personal development and trying to step out of my comfort zone and take more educational courses. So I think I finished one of the courses last year. It was a 6 months program and I had to do it alongside working full time, and it was a lot. But at the end, I got the certificate, and you know, all the excitement with getting your name on a certificate. So that was a personal achievement for me, because that certificate helped me to get my new role. So that's something that was very important to me. So let me know in the chat. Desmond, do you have anything to share? Akan, do you have anything to share? Fioma, Philip, Stephanie, let me know in the chat box if you have anything to share.
You know, 4 and 5 years, they shouldn't say that because it will never happen. So, and she doesn't want a situation where I'm just chasing them for money.
If you're not speaking, please, can you kindly mute so that we don't distract others in the call? So no one on this call has anything to share? Even when you passed your exams, or you got that new job, or you bought that new dress, or you bought that new car? Come on, guys. I don't want to speak to myself today. Let me know in the chat. I'll just give us 2 more minutes. You know, anyone that feels comfortable sharing anything, that would be amazing. Okay, I see a comment coming in. Lanre Kufoji, achieving a first-class undergraduate degree. Wow, that's amazing. Congrats, and thank you for sharing, Lanre. Achieving any kind of degree, first, second, third, it's never easy, particularly undergraduate degree, because the first 2 years you're just even trying to figure out how to even navigate the new environment you are in, and then and then you go ahead and you finish that with the first class. So that's amazing. Congrats, and thank you for sharing, Lanre. So Desmond says, had 3 wonderful Reimagine sessions with great speakers and a great co-host. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Okay, now we don't have much time today anyway. I'm sure we would engage more when we get to the Q&A session. So I'll just go ahead and introduce our speaker for today. His name is Akan Nelson, and he's the CEO and founder of Evolve Credits, and is going to be speaking to us today on business acumen, drawing from his own personal experience as someone who has successfully launched and is running a thriving credit business. So Akan, over to you. And just before I hand over to Akan, please do not be in a hurry to log out at the end of the session. We have an amazing surprise. coming. We have a performance by Maka. If you've been joining the sessions early, there's been music in the background that we've been playing, that amazing soothing soul music you've been listening to. We have her coming to tantalize our earbuds with her beautiful voice. So don't be in a hurry to log out today. So Akan, over to you.
Thanks, Muriel. Everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. Good morning. Can you just thumbs up to confirm that you can hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you, but we could do it a bit more volume.
Okay, awesome. So I'll speak up. Is this a bit better?
Yes, thank you.
Great. So Muriel, thanks for the introduction, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for joining. I see we have over 50 people on this call this morning. That's absolutely phenomenal. I'm Akan Nelson. I'm founder CEO of a fintech startup called Evolve Credit. And what we do is we provide software that enables lenders and financial institutions to manage their entire lending business end to end. And so if you want to check us out, this is our website, Evolve Credit. You should be able to see. If you go to evolvecredit.co there, you can find more information. And if you'd like to talk to us, you can click that button and you'd get in touch with our sales team. But really why I'm here, and I really can't express enough my gratitude for this opportunity to speak with you all, is I wanted to share a little bit of my learnings with essentially how to get from 0 to 1 if you want to start a business, any kind of business, but my experience is particularly with starting a venture-backed business. And so this is going to be a crash course. I'm going to work to get through everything that from my experiences that you need to know to start a business that can grow very quickly and get your first check from investors to get you running. Again, my focus is on venture-backed businesses and startups, but these principles will work for any kind of business, whether you want to start a lifestyle business or a family business or a more traditional type of business. And so it's also going to be a bit interactive. So I'm going to be asking questions. So please respond. If you have any questions you want to ask, you can put them in the chat and we'll get to them at the end. So essentially, this Startup 101, we want to build our venture-backed business in 20 minutes or less. Let's see if we can make that happen. So there are 3 core general things that you need to know to get your business from 0 to 1, right? Those 3 questions are, could my idea make $1 billion a year, right? That's what investors will be looking at. But I would encourage that for yourself, oftentimes, especially if you're entrepreneurially minded, you might not be sure if you're dreaming big enough, right? So could my business be $1 billion a year? What are some business ideas that some people in the group have? Could you just message in the chat and we can talk about these ideas? So someone just send a quick message, or you can unmute your mic and just give me, I'm just looking for a quick example here of some kind of business idea that, that someone here has. There are 50 of us, so I imagine that there's someone that has a business idea. Okay, so I'll start us off just for, did any message? Okay, logistics management, right? Okay, cool. A marketplace. So Philip says marketplace for freelancers, right? Now, Philip, how could your marketplace for freelancers make $1 billion a year? How could it be $1 billion business? You can unmute your mic. You don't need to put your video on if it's not already on. But just give me a sense, how do you think this could grow to be really massive? What would you need to do? Is it the kind of business that can scale to $1 billion a year? Philip, you can go ahead and unmute and talk to me. Philip, are you there? All right, he might be having, looks like Philip is a bit shy. And
okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. It might be having.
Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now loud and clear.
Yes.
It looks like there's a little bit of lag there. Yetunde says real estate. So, and a couple of other people said going into real estate. Yetunde, are you comfortable unmuting and talking to me? How could this idea for real estate, a real estate business, how could that scale to something that's really big?
Okay, so with real estate, you can start, you can grow it. You can start small, maybe, buy a plot of land, resell it, buy, then maybe reinvest it. And gradually you can go into building the property up, selling it, putting it out there, and people will buy off plan. And from there, you can grow your money.
Exactly. So that's a classic example. I don't want us to go too deep, but so Yetunde, so the real estate business, you can start small with a plot of land, scale it up to get investors in. You can sell off sections of the land or sections of the building, and you can so how that scales from something that maybe will take 20 years to become a really big business. In 5 years, you can make that a really big business if you layer tech on top of it. And you say that maybe anywhere in the world, whether you're in Nigeria or not, you're opening up the Nigerian real estate market to global investors. And so someone sitting in London, someone sitting in Australia, they can invest in a plot of land in a Nigerian building and then get a return when the building is completed and sold, right? And you can raise more capital that way. That's an example of a kind of business that could scale very, very quickly because it's built on top of the internet and you might be able to make a lot of money. So the general message here is that you want to make sure you want to look at your idea and really get a sense of how big can this scale. Some ideas, so for example, a grocery store, you might say, I want to start a grocery store in my local neighborhood. A grocery store in my local neighborhood is very different from, I want to open up a chain of grocery stores across Nigeria. That's very different from, I want to open up a chain of grocery stores across the African continent, right? If you want to do just one store in your community, you can do all of that yourself. If you want to scale across Nigeria, you might want to open up a franchise model, for example. So first of all, once you've gotten a sense of how big can this get, the next thing you want to do is then confirm whether you have the right team to build this. And once you confirm whether you have the right team to build it, then you need to confirm whether you're an investor ready or not. So going a little bit deeper into each of these, right? When you're thinking, could this be $1 billion business? You want to start with 3 core questions. 1, how big is the market? 2, how much am I going to charge? And 3, how much money could I make? So, for example, using this real estate example that we started off with, if we take a bottoms-up approach, so bottoms-up approach means that you start from the basics, how many customers and how much am I charging? Let's say that, and this is just an estimate, right? So this is not business advice. I'm just pulling out these numbers. Let's assume that globally, across the world, there are 1 million, or actually no, that's low. Let's say across the world, there are roughly 100 million high net worth individuals, right? With excess capital to invest in real estate markets across the world, right? And let's say Yetunde has a chance to make a $10,000 commission, right? From each of these people. That's a 1.1, 1.2 billion dollar market, right? If Yetunde's commission is 100,000, that's a $10 billion market, right? So you see how very quickly with just a small set of assumptions, we're able to get us to make an estimate of how big the market is. Another example is, let's say you're thinking of going into a business that's more consumer facing. We know that in Nigeria at the moment, what's the population of Nigeria at the moment? I know there are 40 million SMEs, and is it 120 million people? Or could someone help me out in the chat? What's What's Nigeria's current population?
In the range of 200 million people plus.
Right. So thank you. So 200 million, we're looking at 200 million people and 40 million SMEs, right? If let's, and then let's say, you know, maybe you want to start a business that sells high quality hair extensions, right? So if we assume that half the population is female, right? That's 100 million people, right? And then we assume that 10% of the female population can afford high quality, like expensive, high quality hair extensions. 10% of 100 million is 10 million, right? And what does the average, I don't know, how much does hair extension go for? Like 200,000 naira, 500,000 naira? Let's say we're talking really high-end stuff. Who wants to help, like the woman on the call, like a really expensive high-end like hair extension, or the man, how much does that go for? Who has an idea of what the range is? You can just unmute and speak. Wow, someone said up to 1 million. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. So let's say, let's just pick the halfway part, right? And say, so you have just off this imaginary estimation we're doing. Remember we said Nigeria's population is 200 million people. We're assuming half are women. That's 100 million. We're assuming 10% of all the women in Nigeria can afford the super expensive, luxurious weaves, and they're going for 500,000 naira a pop. That's about 5 billion naira a year in revenue, assuming that women will only buy one of these like hair extensions once. But let's say they buy, you know, these wealthy 10% of women, they're buying like a new set every quarter. I don't know the assumptions, right? But let's say 4 times a year is how often they replace the weaves. So you multiply that 5 billion by 4. We're looking at essentially a $20 billion naira annual, 20 billion naira a year industry for luxurious hair extensions alone, right? And then if your market, and then so you need to ask yourself, well, that's why knowing how much you charge becomes super important, right? So we know that Nigerians, the Nigerian environment is really keyed into this idea of being elite and this idea of being exclusive. So if at the moment in the market, the luxury hair extensions are going for 1 million naira or 500,000 naira, you might decide, actually, we're going to come in and price at 2 million naira because we want to position as extra luxurious. And there's really no difference in the weaves, but your branding is going to make it seem like there's a difference, right? Or you might say, actually, if the average price is 1 million naira, 500,000 naira, we're going to come in and price at 100,000 naira. So it's the same quality, but for much cheaper. Depending on how you want to position your business, that would influence what kind of pricing strategy that you adopt. So there's an element of research that would need to happen here for you to make this decision. And note, so what we've been doing on this on this call at the moment is that third point, how much could I make? That's the math we've been doing, right? It's really, so before you even begin your business, you want to know, how big is the market? How much will I charge, right? The answer to those 2 questions will allow you to estimate how much money could I make, right? And then you want to do the calculations to say, well, okay, someone with a calculator, help me do the math. What's 20 billion divided by 500? Just to get, let's get this figure in dollars, right? Because remember, with our initial example that we had done the estimates, we said that, okay, hypothetically, this market for high quality hair extensions in Nigeria is a $20 billion a 20 billion naira market every year. Yeah, okay, so $20 billion, sorry, 20 billion, I think in dollars, guys, I'm so sorry. 20 billion naira divided by 500 will give us about $40 million. So as is, with the assumptions we've made, right? This fictional hair extension business is a $40 million dollar business a year. So then you want to ask yourself, is it possible for me to scale this business to $100 million business a year? If it is, what would I need to do? Maybe to do that, all you need to do is expand into one more country, expand into Ghana, right? Maybe you need to expand into Ghana and then expand into Kenya. And very easily, you just copy and paste what you've done in Nigeria, you can hit 100 million annual revenue. What do you need to do to scale to $1 billion, right? Maybe to scale to $1 billion, you raise the price, right? You raise the price, or you expand into more countries, or maybe you start layering other products on top of. So when people need hair extensions, maybe, because remember, we're cutting out half of the population, we have nothing for men. Maybe, baldness, male pattern baldness is a big issue. Maybe you introduce a custom line of high quality, super hyper realistic looking, like glue-on weaves for men, right? My hair is not a glue-on weave, but you could do something like that. So once you've done this, right, notice that beyond the hard math, we've now imagined how big our business can get, right? So you positioned yourself maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years in the future. You've seen, oh my God, this is my small business importing hair weave-ons from China and selling them could be $1 billion business. Now that you know that that's possible, you can now answer the next question, which is, okay, how do I put together the best team to make this happen, right? So in Nigeria, oftentimes this is a sore point because we like working with people we trust, we like working with family, we like working with friends, but oftentimes if you really want to get really big, really fast, which is the venture route, you want to find people who you trust, who are your friends and maybe family, but also people who are exceptionally qualified, right? Now, the template that I've seen work really, really well across a host of companies is one where there are 2 to 3 co-founders. So there's one person that's more business focused. There's a second person that is a technical expert. So when I say technical expert, here's what I mean is, so if it's like a tech startup, the technical expert would be the person writing the code. The reason you want a technical expert, a co-founder writing the code, is so that you don't have to spend money paying an external developer to build your software, right? Because remember, you don't have any money. Business has not started. You don't even know if this is going to work. Why are you paying people to build a product that might not work? So ideally, you have a co-founder that has the skills to make it happen. Now, a non-tech example, going back to this very beautiful story that we're developing about this person that's selling high quality, luxurious weaves, right? Your technical expert might be someone that really, really understands the differences between different grades of hair and really, really understands the supply chain and is able to say, look, like this, to get this particular quality of hair, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to do to store the hair so that it doesn't grow moldy when it's in storage. Or this is what we can do to maybe create like a hair recycling process, build it in so that we're buying back old weaves from women and like repurposing it and then selling it like it's brand new, right? Like the technical expert would know how to do that. And this can be if we're talking about real estate, the technical expert would be someone that really understands like the intricacies of the building process, how much cement should cost, what kind of cement should be used for what kind of housing structure. Typically, how many people does it take? How long does it take to build, a 3-story house? These kinds of things. And the reason you need that technical expert is because otherwise you'll have to pay someone else a lot of money to give you that same information and do the work for you, right? So it's better to just have that person on your team as a co-founder. And many business people, this is usually a sore point because you want to own 100% of your business, but 100% of nothing is nothing. And so it's better for you to own 70% or 60% and have a strong technical partner that owns 40, and then know that you have everything in-house. Now, the third kind of team person that I'd recommend that you get, but this is now optional, is depending on your kind of business, it might be useful to have like a hustler. When I say hustler, I mean a generalist. So this is the person that, maybe you're starting a cooperative business and you need to go and talk to them in Alausa to collect your certificate. This is the person you'll send, right? Because they would know how to navigate that kind of terrain and that kind of environment. You know, if it's about maybe for this hair business, you need to fly to China to talk to these people who don't really speak English, to inspect the machinery that they're using to produce the hair, right? This is the person you'll send to do that, right? Because they know they're very adaptable and they know how to operate in lots of different environments. They would typically have financial skills. They would know, if you talk about who's handling your social media in the early days, who's doing your finances, this would be the person that would do that, but it's totally optional. And then the last thing before we round up is, so remember, you figured out how big your idea is. You have a sense of what your pricing is going to be. You have a sense of how much you could make. You've then figured out, okay, this is how I build the best team. You figured out how to build your best team. So typically how you would find these people is your co-founders would either come from like people you went to school with or people you worked with. And this is why I recommend that even if you want to be an entrepreneur, you work for maybe at least 2 years in some industry so that you can meet other qualified people, right? You know, the easiest way to form the kind of relationship where you can convince someone to do something with you is to have spent a lot of time with them in a school environment or in a professional environment. So for example, Desmond and I went to school together, and that's how he was able to convince me to participate in this event. It probably wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that personal connection with him. Then the last thing you want to do, and this is really important, is clearly define the roles of so this team, you put this team together, right? And you said, bro, Omar, this business can make a lot of money if we get it right? So now there's a financial incentive. The team is together. Before you start talking to investors, before you start doing anything too serious, you need to clearly define the roles. So it needs to be clear who makes the final decision, right? Where there's a power vacuum or where there's no clear leadership, there's not going to be easy movement forward because people will start fighting. So there needs to be someone who you agree that, okay, we make decisions as a team, but anything that we cannot decide well, right? This person is who we're designating to make the final call, right? Now, that's not to say that if that person is you should be a tyrant, right? Because don't forget this, you need interpersonal skills. You need your team to work with you because you're probably not paying them in the beginning, right? Your co-founders, you're not paying them. So they can easily walk away. So they need to like you. But it's to say that if we're deciding between, do we open a UBA bank account or a GTB bank account? And, you know, we both have family in both companies, this person will just make the final call or say, let's open both bank accounts, you know. And then you want to decide what the equity split is and decide your ownership, you know, who owns what percentage of the company very, very early. And I don't recommend a heavily imbalanced equity split. So for example, if you own 90% and your co-founder owns 10%, that is an incredibly risky equity split kind of thing to set up because that person can easily leave you and go and just start working a normal 9-to-5 job because they'll feel like this is not my thing, right? They'll feel like they don't really have ownership. They'll feel like you're their boss, right? And so again, egos need to be put aside so that you can have a more fair equity split. And then you want to put everything you decide into writing, right? Into a formal document. There are templates online. I'll share links. Desmond will share afterwards that you can go to and decide, you know, okay, this is what we've agreed. This is the equity. And you can do this founders agreement even before you've incorporated the business, right? Like before you've incorporated the business, you can do this. So that it's on paper. Okay, we've decided this person has 60%, this person has 30%, this person has 10%. And this person is designated CEO, this person is designated head of tech, this person is designated ops. And once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is then make sure that you're ready to collect money, right? When I say ready to collect money, this is a bonus page if you're going to the venture-backed route, right? Now, depending on your background, you might already have people who can give you $50,000 in Naira is we're looking at like 25 million Naira. You might already have people in your life that can give you 25 million Naira or give you 50 million Naira to like start up, right? Or you might have 10 people in your life that can give you 5 million Naira each, right? Between family and friends or money that you've saved up. So you might not go to raise external money, but if you want to raise external money, you want to make sure that you're ready to collect the money, right? Because there's nothing worse than getting to a point where you've gotten an investor excited about your idea, but you can't take money from them because you haven't put your house in order, right? This is what Muriel was talking about with her legal practice when she said that you start doing due diligence and the company is not even registered. So the first thing you want to do is you want to incorporate your company in Nigeria. I'm assuming we're all Nigerians on this call. Now, if you intend to take money from foreign investors, you also need to incorporate a US entity. There are websites like, please thumbs up to confirm that you can still see my screen. Cool. So there are websites like Clerky. This is clerky.com. There's another one called Stripe Atlas. Stripeatlas.com. These sites are US based companies, but they will let you register a business for free in the US, like incorporate a US entity for free, right? So once you've done that, then you can now engage. I'm happy to make introductions to a lawyer. You can do it yourself, but I recommend you use a US lawyer. It'll cost you about $1,500, $2,000. And they will then do everything post incorporation to, because you would need to like create your board of directors, et cetera, and duplicate the agreements you made on the founders agreement onto that directorship for the US entity. This is really, really important, right? Because before you can take money from anyone, they're going to want to make sure that you and your founders own the legal entity that you're talking about. And this is also why you want to have that discussion early, so that it's not when you're talking to the lawyer and the lawyer is saying, get back to me in 24 hours, then you now start arguing to decide who owns what, right? It should be very clear. Once you've created the US entity, you can now open, so you should open a local bank account, and then you should also open a US bank account. So there are companies like Mercury.com. I've shared the screen here, where you can open a bank account remotely. You don't have to physically be in the US. You can open a US bank account from here, right? Once you open the bank account, so it's an application process. You just click open account, and then you follow the steps. Once you follow the steps, usually within a week, you'd be able to get confirmed whether they're going to be able to open an account for you or not. But many Nigerian startups, this is exactly what they do. Now, once you've opened the US bank account, what you now need to do is engage a lawyer who knows what they're doing and explain to the lawyer that you want to link the US entity and the Nigerian entity, right? What many startups do is they will make the Nigerian entity a subsidiary of the US entity, right? But the reason, I'm gonna land now very quickly. The reason you want to do all of this, right, is so that when you're talking to an investor, even a lot of the Nigerian investors, their money is sitting abroad. Like the money that they will be giving you is sitting in a bank account abroad. And many of them, or it's being managed by a wealth manager abroad in a foreign bank account. And so you don't want to make it difficult for them to send money to you, right? You don't want to start asking them to send money from the UK or from the US or from China or from wherever to Nigeria. That's long. So you want to be able to tell them, I have a US bank account. I have a US registered entity. My US registered entity owns my Nigerian entity or is linked to it in some kind of meaningful way. Show them that documentation and then give them your US bank account to send the money. You get the money in 2 days once they've confirmed all the due diligence, right? And then you can now figure out how you get that money into Nigeria and how you do the currency conversion. Offline, I'm happy to share like the easiest ways to do that. But once you've done all of this, and this is why having that hustler, that third co-founder is important, because typically is that hustler person that will navigate all of this, because it can get quite complicated. Once you've done all of this, then you want to raise money using safes. So safes mean simple agreement for future equity. You can Google it. There's lots of information. There are templates there. But essentially, it's a one-page piece of paper. In your very early stage, and this is assuming that you're starting a venture-backed company, right? with that piece of paper, once the agreement is signed, like that document, you can collect money from investors. And then when you raise a price round, maybe Desmond, like in future versions of Reimagine, I can go more in depth into the fundraising process, because that's kind of almost a separate conversation. But if anyone asks you how you're raising money, tell them safe. If anybody comes to say, I want to give you $10,000 for 10%, tell them no, because that doesn't make any sense, right? Nobody should first of all lead. Any investor that leads with the percentage they want to own in your company, right? First of all, you need to say pause. You want 10%, our valuation. So set your valuation. You can set your value. You can say that, okay, from all the work you did in the beginning, right? This could be a business that's generating $40 million a year in revenue, the hair business, remember, right? Maybe you're valuing, so you say, okay, because of that potential, we're valuing our business at $1 million right now, right? So if you want 10% of our business today, that means that you have to bring $100,000. Do you guys see what I'm saying? That's how you should structure the conversation. You shouldn't say 10,000 for 10%, or it's not for 10%, is 10% of our valuation is the amount you need to bring. This is a really, really important point, because I see founders a lot who, even from family and friends, will take an investment from someone that they should be able to trust, an uncle or a family friend, and give that person 10%. And how much money did the person give them? Right? Like, if you take $10,000 is about 5 million naira. If you take 5 million naira for 10%, that means your company is only valued at $100,000, which is almost nothing, right? No one else will invest in that company. So this is really important. Now, if you're not taking the venture-backed route, then it becomes a bit more tricky and more traditional. But I would still recommend that you take the same approach, right? So that you're not unnecessarily giving away ownership in your company to other people, because the more ownership you give away, the less ownership the founders have. And the founders who are doing the work every day need to be incentivized to keep doing the work, right? Someone with 2% in a company is not going to continue working on it. Now, the last thing I want to say is when you're looking for investors, it's really important to just get referrals. Now, the easiest way to get lots of referrals is to apply to an accelerator. Some of you might already be familiar with them. Y Combinator is a really famous and popular accelerator. This is their website. You can go to them. On ODX, Evolve Credit is currently participating in the On Deck Accelerator. They're another one. It's the same deal as Y Combinator. Techstars is another popular one. Like, there are lots of people talk about these things a lot. A quick Google search will pop up some of these accelerators, but you can check them out. You can check them out that way. Otherwise, until you're able to get into an accelerator, or if you're not able to get into one, you want to be able to identify people who know investors and can make warm referrals for you. I know that any investor you talk to will say that if you email them or if you fill the form on their website, they'll contact you. But I can tell you the truth is, it's not likely to happen, because hundreds of people fill out those forms every week, right? So it's easier to find someone that knows the investor to do a direct connection, right? If Desmond WhatsApps me and says, hi, Akan, my friend Shola, let's assume I'm an investor, my friend Shola has this startup and she wants to talk to you, I'm more likely to listen to Shola, if only because Desmond is my friend, right? As opposed to if Shola contacted me herself. This is super important. And that's also why I recommend that, like, you work with a startup, or you work in the similar space for at least a year, 2 years, so you can make those connections to people who will make those introductions for you. Anyways, I think I've run a little bit over time. GBTB means get back to building. So it essentially means get to work. But Desmond, if we have time for questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, thank you so much, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to give this session.
Wow, thank you so much, Akan. That was, I don't know, this is so valuable. If you're on the call, you own a business, you're looking to start from somewhere, we'll be sharing the slides. This will be probably one of the most valuable, sessions you would receive. I think just before we even start getting questions coming, I think there was a question on you just recapping on that mini valuation example you gave. the 10%, you know, how to, yeah, if you can just recap that. I think there were two people that were asking.
In general, when it comes to raising money, if there's anything you should remember, is the conversation about money and investors starts at the valuation. It should not start at the amount. When people start at the amount, it's easy to get confused, right? So that's why you've done all the pre-work. So if you say, for example, that my company is valued at $1 million because you have nothing. You've not built anything. All you have is a spreadsheet and a deck, a PowerPoint deck, and you know, maybe you've created a website and a social media page. You have nothing. Fine, $1 million valuation because you've done all the math, right? And if you're interested in how you arrive at that valuation, you can Google it. But the truth is, at that very early stage, there's no way to value a company. So just say 1 million. Trust me, just say 1 million or say 2, because that's what all the startups are doing. In Silicon Valley, there are companies with no product that are starting at a $10 million valuation. The valuation is a signal of the potential of your business, right? And the potential of your business increases when you have a strong team, when the market is big, and when you could make a lot of money very quickly, right? So if you say that your company is valued at $1 million, and an investor comes to you, or your uncle comes and says, let me invest in your business, give me 10%. What you should tell your uncle is, absolutely, Uncle Bayo, I would love to have you as an investor in my business. For 10%, you have to bring, $100,000, right? Because 10% of $1 million, of a $1 million valuation is $100,000. At that point, if Uncle Bayo is not serious, he'll shout, you want me to bring all this money? Then where am I going to get $10,000? $10,000 is 50 million naira, right? And at which point you just smile and you say, well, Uncle Bayo, if you have friends in established institutional funds, please make those introductions. Or how much can you bring? Uncle Bayo will say $10,000. $10,000 divided by a $1 million valuation is 1%. So then you humbly explain to Mr. Bayo, to Uncle Bayo, that for his $10,000, yes, you want to have him as an investor, but what he will get in terms of ownership is 1%. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So that's how you avoid, I was talking to somebody, this person was in a situation where they had given their father 7% of their company. And while like, yes, family bonds, goodwill, like their father wasn't even an active member of the startup team. All their father did was help them incorporate the business. A business incorporation costs 100,000 naira, right? And my younger sister can do that herself, right? That's not worth 7% at all. And a lot of companies struggle to raise money because the moment the investors look at they'll ask you for your cap table. And the cap table is a spreadsheet that shows everybody and the ownership they have. And when they see a bunch of people that don't seem to have anything to do with the business, they're not early employees, they're not anything, with 7%, 5%, 10%, it raises red flags, right? And they don't want to take the risk to put additional money in. I see Kingsley has his hand up. I'm not sure if that's a question.
Kingsley has his hand up for a while now. So Kingsley, you can unmute and ask your question.
I'm sorry about that. It was the recap I was asking him to do. That's what I really wanted to understand. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think we have one more question in the chat from Philip. It says, can you quickly touch on how we should structure our pitch deck presentations?
Sure. I think there's some. So in general, how you want to structure. Let me look at my own pitch deck and use that as a template. Desmond, is this call being recorded? Okay, I was going to share my screen and show my pitch deck, but I think I'll just talk through it. So it's essentially you want to cover the problem that you're solving, right? So in that you want to talk about, so using our example of this lady, this person, it doesn't have to be a lady, selling luxury hair extensions, right? So you might say that the problem is at the moment is that wealthy women in Nigeria and Africa are not easily able to find high quality hair extensions that they need to put their best face forward in society and in the professional place, in the professional workplace, right? And you might say that in Nigeria, there are 200,000 women, or there are 20 million women in this category. I don't know, you know, and 1 million individual units of hair extensions or wigs are thrown away every year for being poor quality. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but you get what throw numbers in there, structure your problem, talk about what your solution is. Then everything else I talked about, from the market sizing, you then want to lay that out. I recommend just a quick Google search. You'll find templates about this. Follow the templates. Like, there's no secret sauce to your pitch deck. Just follow the steps and build it out. I recommend that if you can afford it, get maybe a graphics person to make it look extra professional.
Awesome. And I think Chioma has a question on how to modify the shareholding to reflect the 1%. I think that would just simply be a change of shareholders at the company's registry if you're incorporated, or an amendment to your founders agreement if you have one. I think that's the short answer.
Exactly.
But thank you so much, Akan. Like, if you're on the call and you understand the value that has been passed on this call, you know, it will cost you a lot of money to have someone sit down and break this down. Akan, you are trying to put lawyers out of business. You know, I have a bone to pick with you after this call, but thank you so much. Like, you know, I concur totally with everything that he has said. It's very valuable to always take a step back.
Yes.
Please mute if you're not speaking. You know, I have a lot of people approach me.
I think it's Chioma. I think she has
Hi,
her hand
Chioma,
up.
do you have another question?
Yes, I want to understand something. So there are several times investors would approach you, and at several points, you then allocate some percentage, if you will, to them. Does that mean at every single point, you then have to go back and modify the shareholding? Is there no other way that you can do that without having to go back to modify the shareholding each time?
Yeah, so Chioma, that's actually an excellent question. And so the short answer is, when you're raising money, you want to raise using SAFEs. They're called SAFEs, S-A-F-E. It means simple agreement for future equity. So that we don't run over time, what that is it's a 1 to 2 page document that outlines the terms of the investment. It's literally a 2-page document. When you sign and when the investors sign, that's it. The deal is confirmed. They can wire you money. Now, most startups will raise a pre-seed, which is a safe round. They'll also raise a seed round, right? Which is, it's another early stage round. They'll also raise that on safes. Now, when you get to Series A, Series B, Series X, that means that you're now raising a priced round. And what that means is you're converting. So maybe by the time you get to Series A, you sign safes with 20 people, right? At that point, all of those 20 people, their percentage ownerships, a lawyer and an accountant will convert all of the percentages and put all of them on your legal documents, typically on the primary entity. If it's the US entity, then they'll all convert and be on the US entity legal documents. So Chioma, the short answer to your question is no, you don't have to go back to your legal documents to update it every single time you collect money, as long as the vehicle you're using to raise money is the safe agreement. Now, if you agree to raise money using direct equity, or Muriel, you can advise what it's called, but I think it's called direct equity, then in that case, you would have to update your legal documents to reflect that. And this is also why in terms of raising lots of startup capital, there's a preference towards US-based investors, because there, Silicon Valley is very, very used to the idea of safes. When you start getting to Nigeria or the UK or South Africa, etc., you have more traditional investors who are not as confident in the idea that a small piece of paper is proof that their investment means anything. And they want to see their name. They want to see their name on your legal documents. Yes.
Yes, amazing. I think, you know what, so that we don't go too much off course, we'll be having, as Akan has, you know, graciously proposed, we will have a follow-on session that will be specific on fundraising. We don't want to take too much time today, but we'll be coming back. We'll have this information on our social media handles when we've had time to go back and see what works for Akan. But thank you again for the fantastic presentation. I think it was super clear, extremely clear. If you have time, to the participants, we'll be sharing the slides. Go back and look at it. And I always say to people that approach me, I want to do this. Somebody wants to give me 20%. And I asked, what's the valuation? And there's always a surprise look. I'm like, you're not ready. Because if you really want to raise money, you can't just be sharing 10%, 20%. It just does not work. And it would all end up in arguments and quarrel and lack of clarity, no agreement. So always take time. If you have a lawyer friend, speak to someone. Akan has shared a wealth of resources on this call, from Mercury to Clerky, Stripe Atlas. There's so much information online. There's even Twitter rooms where people discuss all these things on a daily basis. So thank you, Akan. Thank you for your time. Without wasting any more time, we'll just go straight. We have an amazing singer on the call with us. We have Maka. Maka is a soul singer and a songwriter based in Lagos. She does music for soul, hip hop, jazz, and rap. And we have her here on the call, and she's going to be doing a live performance, which is very exciting. So over to you, Maka, and the team, if we have the setup ready. And if you have any more questions while we're waiting for Maka and the team, if you have any more questions, we may not be able to take them on this call. Just send them in alongside your email address, and you can send it to me directly. You can send it to Desmond. We'll be sure to pass it on, and hopefully in his free time, he may be able to respond. But don't send him your business plan to review. Just don't send him your business plan to review. Just basic questions that he can just guide you to where you can get more information. Are we ready? Tech.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Maka. I'm here. We're trying to get the music ready, but I'm excited to be singing for everyone today. Okay, so I'm trying to get the team to set up the music, and we will have some fun just for a few minutes, okay? Thank you, and I'm sorry for the delay. I don't know if you guys can see me yet. If you can see me, please comment that you can see me.
We can't see.
Because as soon as you guys can see me, I will start because the music is ready.
Okay, we can see you now. We can see you, Maka.
You can see me?
Yes.
Hello. Hi again. My name is Maka, and I'm a singer, songwriter, and my favorite part is being a performer. Okay, so I will be doing, most of the songs that I will be performing today will be love songs. We're in the love season, so I don't want to take it too deep. Let's reduce the, you guys have been so serious on this webinar, so let me sprinkle a little bit of fun for you guys. I'm sure you'll be having fun, but you know what I mean. So the first song that I'll be performing is one of my favorites. Is an original titled No One. And so let's go. Zion with it's another day again. Every day is just the same. Cause I'm thinking about nobody else but you. So I'm praying to Jehovah, shout amen and hallelujah. Can somebody save me now from you? It's another day again. Every day is just the same. Cause I'm thinking about nobody else but you. So I'm praying to somebody. Oh, I'm thinking about nobody else but you. Shout amen and hallelujah. Can somebody save me now from you? Manina Baka, Baka Missy. Ina Baka Missy, baby. Baby, because please, Ina Baka Missy, baby. What is this thing called love? Is it something that gets you the same way it gets me? Cause you're all I'm thinking of. And they say it's addiction, don't let it be my downfall. It feels like I'm stuck in time. Cause each day I wake up with you on my mind, and not a day goes by. But if you ask how much I love you from the ground up to the sky, it's another day again. Every day is just the same. Cause I'm thinking about nobody else but you. Shout amen and hallelujah. Can somebody say me now for you? Manina Waka Missy, baby. Ina Waka Missy, baby. Baby, Nico, please, Ina Waka Missy. Lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Lost without you, can't help myself. How does it feel to know that I love you, baby? Ina Waka Missy, baby. Ina Waka Missy, baby. Baby, because please, Ina Waka Missy. Yeah. All right, I hope we enjoyed that one. I will go to another one. That's from my most recent project titled Love Songs and Alcohol. As the project already says, it's about love songs and lots of alcohol. This will be a song titled Dance, and let's enjoy it. Just give me a moment to get to it. All right, and we're there. Didn't go away. The first thing that I see is your smile, Those eyes looking at me blow my mind all the time. And if I let you kiss and caress me, let your body arrest me today. You'll be taking all my emotions. My heart is deep like the ocean. Away. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, Papa for me. your kiss and caress me. Let your body arrest me today. Jaja. You'll be taking all my emotions. My heart is deep like the ocean. No always. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me. With the one who loves me. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me. 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 That was Dance, and my final song for today is FUN. I heard that you guys have been listening to my music. My music has been played on the during the webinar, and now you guys are putting a face to the sound, and the songs that I have performed today are all available on your favorite streaming platforms, and I can see that my social media handle is on display at the official marker on every social media platform. So I will be closing this performance. I've had a lot of fun being here, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the song so far. The final song is titled FUN, and that just summarizes everything, right? FUN, we've been having so much fun, and let's get to it. You get understanding, baby, give me just the whining and the dining, don't want drama, now. We get understanding, baby, give me just the whining, don't want drama, now. Get up and dance, I'll be giving you romance, you know, Charlotte in my bed. Oh, get up and dance, you know, Charlotte in my pants, I'll be giving you romance, that's it in the blue. Oh, so keep it FUN, keep it FUN, keep it FUN, baby. Keep it FUN, keep it FUN, keep it FUN, baby. Baby, don't stress me, just bless me with love and your kisses, your hugs and your sweetness. Will you be here in the morning, my honey? I'm loving your company. Get up and dance, you know, Charlie, in my pants. I'll be giving you romance, call it sweet as taboo. I will be the best thing, better than the next thing, interesting. Vibes only for you. So keep it FUN, keep it FUN, keep it FUN, baby. So keep it FUN, keep it FUN, keep it FUN, baby. Oh, stop moving, baby. Are you having fun? Are you having fun? I'm be having fun. Are you having fun? Don't forget to put it in the comments how much you can have fun of this webinar. Papa Whitney. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maka. Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful. We'd love to have you on. Guys, follow her on her official handles, listen to her music. If you've been joining the calls early, that soothing music you've been listening to was from official Maka. Thank you, Maka. We're so grateful. I'll hand over to my co-host now, Desmond, to give the vote of thanks and wrap us up.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Hi, that was a wonderful performance by the official marker. If you want to follow her, just go to Instagram and put at the official marker. You see her there. Great performance. She's a soul singer and she's been doing it for a very, very long time. So please, if you like it, yes, make your comments on the chat box. She's definitely going to see it. If you want to connect with her, like I said, follow her on at the official marker. Thank you so much. I would just like to thank every single person that was here today. The purpose of Reimagine as a whole is to impact the African lives, especially the youth, because we feel like it's time to evolve and progress and get to the point we need to be together. So that's the initiative behind Reimagine 1.0. There are going to be other programs in the long run, so please stay tuned. Follow us on at CleairMont, at Claire._Mont, that's at CLEIR_MONT, and you'll find out more information. We'll also provide the details of the speakers you've heard during the start of the Reimagine 1.0. That was on this on Tuesday, and the one we've had today. So we'll put all that information there. So thank you so much. And please, you check the comment section. You'll see the link to our survey. Please fill in the survey because we would like to get to know more, not just more about you, but more about how we can improve. So the next session, you can actually be more interactive in all our programs. So it's very important to us, but we would not share your names, your phone number. No, it's just to actually get data on how best to improve our services for you. So please help us fill in those the surveys, and please we really appreciate it. So with no further ado, I want to actually just say thank you to the team, because I would say that, you know, I wouldn't do this I cannot do this without a team. I had a very efficient team who stayed up all night, 3 a.m. trying to get things done. We didn't even sleep. Some of us slept on the floor. So it's been an amazing experience. And my co-host, who is all the way in Canada. So the time zones are completely different, and she was decided to be part of this with us. And we just want to say thank you. And thank you, my favorite co-host, Muriel Cookie. As we're also going to show videos of those people who were part of this process. Obviously, all the speakers were part of it, but the internal team. We're going to start with Philip Idoko. Philip Idoko, I don't know if you can see him. Let me just quickly put him on the spotlight. Okay. Okay, I'll go straight to the next person. Why Philip will show soon. His name is Chigozie Onogo. Chigozie, I don't know if anybody can see Chigozie. What's your name on? Okay, 1 second. So Chigozie is the graphic designer. Is the graphic designer of Reimagine 1.0. But aside from that, he's also a graphic designer for a few companies, and also a model as well. And he also studied computer science. So he's been helping us with our internal structure. And without him, all these flyers you're seeing here would not be possible. So thank you, Chigozie. The next person we want to introduce is Philip. So this is Philip Idoko. Philip Idoko is our developer. So he is part of the team that actually worked on building the websites, the landing pages, and some of the email campaigns as well. And he worked with a team to do the marketing ad. And Philip, aside from that, Philip is also the CEO of Tax Culture. It's a freelance company that actually recruits fellow developers in the tech space. So he also gets and provides services to fintech companies, banks, and etc. So thank you, Philip, for your service. Really appreciate it. If I don't know if Yvonne is here. Yvonne, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Yvonne. Yvonne, your video is not on. Okay, while Yvonne is sorting that out, I just want to say thank you to everybody in general for being a part of this initiative. Without you, without your participation, it would not be possible. And I just want to say thank you. And just please, like I said, make your comments in the chat box, fill in the survey where you need to, and just let us know how you feel. We really appreciate your time, and definitely you will hear a lot from us in the coming months. And we're going to have a Reimagine 2.0. That's next year. So this is going to be an annual event. So we're looking forward to having you. But before that time, we're still going to do a couple of programs towards Q2 of this year. So thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate you. God bless you. So while we're all filling the surveys, we'll just play a background music of Amaka's new album. So yeah, so stay tuned. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I don't get time for drama. I don't get time to play. I'm the wrong one. Love can be a roller coaster. It can feel like life's over. But today I'm stopping. Now you'll be playing jungle over. No more jungle over. With my heart, cause I'm never going back into that trap that you bring. Never going back into that drama that you bring into my soul. Baby, that's Don't overthink it, baby. I am here in the present, enjoy the moment, baby. Don't get over your head, bring out the bottles, baby. I am here for the diet, so give it to me, baby. Oh yeah, yeah. I love you, and I want to feel this vibe with you. Oh my eyes with you. I love you, and I want to feel this vibe with you. whining, don't want drama, na na na. You can stay here if you want to. You can go home if you want to. Better come here when I want you, na na na. Get up and dance, you know, Charlie, take my place. I'll be giving you romance, call it sweet as taboo. I will be the best thing, better than the next thing, interesting. Vibes only for you, for you. Keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, baby. Keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, baby. Baby, don't stress me. Use me with love and your kisses, your hugs and your sweetness, Will you be here in the morning, my honey? I'm loving your company, Get up and dance, you know, Charlie, take my place. I'll be giving you romance, call it sweet as taboo. I will be the best thing, better than the next thing, interesting. Vibes only for you, for you. Keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, baby. Keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, keep it F-U-N, baby. I know this feeling and I'm done deceiving myself. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody. And if you come back, I'll probably say yes, 'cause I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody. Make me not distress it. I don't want to stress it. You know where to find me. Call me when you're ready. I know how to keep it very nice and easy. You know where to find me. Make me know the stress it. Mr. Loverman, na 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 na. Mr. Loverman, na 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 na. Mr. Loverman, na 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 na. Mr. Loverman, na 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 na. Mr. Loverman, we are meant to be together. We are meant to be together. I'm addicted to this liquor. I'm addicted to this liquor. We are meant to be together. We are meant to be together. I'm addicted to this liquor. I'm addicted to this liquor. I don't want to stress it. You know where to find me. Call your smile. Those eyes looking at me blow my mind all the time. And if I let you kiss and caress me, let your body arrest me today, today. You'll be taking out my emotion. My heart is deep like the ocean. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, with the one who loves me. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, with the one who loves me. And if I let you kiss and caress me, let your body arrest me today, ja-ja. You'll be taking out my emotion. My heart is deep like the ocean. Always. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, with the one who loves me. I just wanna dance. I just wanna dance with the one who loves me, with the one who loves me. I've been alone on my bed for too long, drinking my sorrows away for too long. And I've been stuck over you for too long. Now it's time. Love can be a roller coaster. It can feel like life is over, but today I'm stopping. Now you've been playing jungle over. No more jungle over with my heart, 'cause I'm never, never, never going back into that drama that you bring. Never, never going back into that drama that you bring into my soul. Baby girl had to get out, baby girl had to run, oh. Baby girl got herself back, you see, oh. I don't get time for drama, I don't get time to play, oh. I'm the wrong one. Love can be a roller coaster, it can feel like